Happy day, students. Today we are going to read an interesting lesson from English Prose, Unit 12, The Three Caskets. This lesson is written by none other than William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the bird of Avon. His extant works includes collaborations, consists of some 39 plays, 154 sonnets, two long narrative poems, and a few other verses, some of uncertain authorship. His many works are about life, love, death, revenge, grief, jealousy, murder, magic, and mystery. His plays have been translated into every major living language and they are performed more often than those of any other playwright. So, if you look at the image, this is William Shakespeare, and there's so much about him that we can read and understand. But I cannot put it on one single page. So, you can definitely go and research for William Shakespeare, and you will get lot of information about him. If you have to understand or master over English language, it is very important for you to understand about William Shakespeare. Let us look at the next slide. So, what is the summary of this lesson that we are going to read? The plot involves the suitors, vying for the hand of a rich and beautiful Portia. Before her father died, he set up a test involving three symbolic caskets to find out who would be the most worthy suitor. In the test, suitors are presented with three caskets, one made of gold, one of silver, and one of lead. If the suitor chooses the correct casket, he wins Portia's hand. The gold casket is a symbol of greed and of materialistic and shallow people who value surface over substance. Silver, while still precious, is not quite as luxurious as gold. The silver casket symbolizes a more cautious greed. These are the people who make compromises in trying to fulfill their dreams, wanting to go for the gold but falling short. The lead casket ends up being the right choice. It is plain on the inside, but it holds an inner treasure. So here, though gold and silver is considered as very expensive and valuable, but this test was, set up by her father because he wanted a person very simple who would choose the lead casket. It represents Portia's herself, which may one day grow old and plain, but who is beautiful and valuable on the inside. So, Portia is compared to the lead casket. The inscription on the lead casket also reads, who chooses me must give and hazard at the hat. Who chooses me must give and hazard all the hat, which is the same in marriage. Portia describes her faith as a game of chance, for it is generally considered that we are the victims of our faith and not masters. That is, we have to follow whatever is our fate, whatever our faith or destiny is, we will follow accordingly. We cannot master, we cannot rewrite our fate. The candles sing. The moth is a typical reference to a person who has foolishly burnt his fingers. Arrogant is like the moth that is attracted to the flame and flies too close to it for its safety. So, these are the sentences you would read in the lesson when you go through it. So, there are many simple stanzas which Shakespeare has used not only in this lesson but many of his work which has become famous proverbs or sayings. Portia is not impartial to the three suitors. Finally, how Bassanio wins Portia is addressed by Nerissa, who tells them that it is time for the people who have stood by and watched their dream come true to wish them joy. So, once you read this lesson, what are the learning outcomes? You can infer the wisdom of Portia's father. So, we can clearly make out how smart and how wise he was to have the suitors three different caskets, and he had defined each casket. So, he knew the person who would choose lead would be the correct life partner for his daughter. Note Portia's behavior towards the suitors as an indication of her preference. So she is also very clever and smart to understand who would be the right choice for her. Portray the characters of the three suitors. So you can easily identify when they, select a casket as to what their character would be. Infer the currency value of the images as proverbs. So as I told you, you can infer how many images or simple sentences have become famous sayings or proverbs. Recognize an expert from a play by Shakespeare. So you can really identify or recognize, an expert, that is a piece of information or a kind of a short summary from a big play by William Shakespeare. Understand a poetic drama, because this lesson has been presented in a way which looks like a poetic drama. So these were the learning outcomes, children. Thank you. So please read the lesson again and again to have a better understanding.